Life in One Chord is about to make its world premiere in Dunedin as part of the New Zealand International Film Festival. Here is director Margaret Gordon to tell us how she told Shayne Carter's story as the big day gets closer. So you must be getting ready for the big premiere of the film, right?
Yes. I mean, a lot of it's, I don't want to say done, but
Yeah.
a lot of the kind of prep is already very much underway.
I'm
It's
just
like a
guessing.
train.
I'm just guessing you have to mentally prepare yourself for it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, like, making a film about Dunedin music, which is something that's very close to my heart, and then showing it in Dunedin to all of those people is
Yep.
nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking.
I'm sure it will be. Yeah.
But they've
Very
also been
good.
they're very nice.
I'm
So,
sure. Well, they'll start out that way. We'll see.
oh,
I've
they're nice
seen.
to my face.
I'm seeing the film. I think you got nothing to worry about. But so tell me how, because I know that you did Into the Void a few years back. So how did that prepare you for making this film?
Well, I mean, I think making a film is a massive, massive project.
Yep.
So, having been through it once before, I was kind of ready for a lot of what was to come. But then there was a lot of kind of curveballs. Well, I think every project has curveballs, but there was a curveballs with this one too. I think just because, with Into the Void, the band was contained and they all were happy to be part of it and they all spoke. And that was, whereas with this one, Life in One Chord, there is a cast of thousands. There's all these different people. They've all got like material and all sorts of stuff is coming in. So it's a much more complicated beast, really. Yeah.
And speaking of complicated beasts, my perception of Shayne is he's a complicated beast.
Yeah, look, I mean, he is a man, he's got many facets. And yeah, he look, the thing about him is that I think he started as a teenage punk, started in
Yep.
music, and he still is.
Yep.
So there are things that he's quite anti-institutional,
Yep.
and there are things which he is just not going to do. And when he says no, he means no, and it's a no. And like, he's not unreasonable. He's always happy to talk about things or listen to people or what they have to say. But yeah, like for example, you know, he doesn't want to do press for the film.
Right.
He just said no, and that's a no.
Yep. Well, I don't blame him, to be perfectly honest.
Well, neither. I mean, it's like that thing where if it's a film, like an acting film, the
Yeah.
actors go and they do the publicity thing and the pound of flesh, but they get paid all this money
Right.
to be in the film. It's part of what they get paid for. Whereas, like with this, a documentary, they don't get
Yep.
paid anything.
Yep.
It's not on Shayne to
Yeah.
go around spruiking this film. It's not his job, and he's
No.
not going to do it. And to be honest, I get it, and I'm
Yep.
also
No,
happy
no, that
for him.
makes sense. So it's interesting. I find that that it's kind of loosely based on his own book about him, his autobiography, Dead People I Have Known. So
Mm.
I can see that be both a plus and a minus for you as a director going into this project. What was your thoughts about it going into it with the book in the back of your head or in the
Yeah,
front of your
so
face?
well, I was very lucky. I got to read an early draft of it, and because I'm so interested in this content, I just, I was reading it on the train. I was reading it, wherever I had an opportunity, I would be reading this book because it was just like so interesting to me. So I love the book. And you know, I think when you make a film or a documentary, you kind of want to have something to build it around, and so the book was that.
Yep.
And we probably would have made a bigger deal of the fact that Shayne won the Ockham Award, except for it was all in lockdown. So, there was no big splashy ceremony where he got to sort of add a prize or anything
Right.
like
Right.
that. So in the end, we didn't have that in. But the thing is, there was so much good material that the difficult part was what was left on the cutting floor, including the really good parts from his book.
Right.
But I also knew that Shayne was never going to do an interview where he was going to bare his soul and say, go through all of this kind of dark material, because there's a lot of it in the book.
Yep.
So we figured that doing readings from the book was the way to go, because if you want to know anything about it, it's all in the book. And for anyone who sees the film, who wants to know more, let's go read the book.
There you go. And you got Carol Hirschfeld to read the book thing, and I think that works beautifully because it gives one degree of separation from Shayne reading it himself, which probably he wouldn't be too thrilled with anyway.
And there's a few people whose comment was sort of like, if Shayne had also read it, that would be a lot of Shayne. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind of
yep,
nice to have a little break,
yep,
and to bring someone else into the party.
yep, yep. So I was as particularly because I'm an old punk rocker myself of similar vintage. I'm a little bit older than Shane, I think, but I couldn't
Mm.
believe the fact that even though they're so rebellious and all that, their first gigs were in their own high school. You know,
Yeah.
with their principal standing off to the side, well, okay, he left, but still he was, they
He
were
was
able to
there.
do that. And he saw, Chris Knox and his early band in their high school. That just blows me away that there was that kind of thing going on back then. Is that how you
Yeah.
remember it?
Yeah, totally. Well, look, I mean, I guess if you're in Dunedin in the 1980s or late 70s, there's probably not a lot of other places where anything
Uh,
happens, right? Like everything's just got to happen where it is. And I think it's that sort of thing where, yeah, the high school students just take over and do their own thing themselves. And I kind of feel like that's what it was. Because actually, like in the film, there's a bit where I asked Leslie, I said, were you at the talent
yeah,
quest? And she was like, oh, I helped to organize it. And I
right,
was like,
yeah,
well, okay, there you go.
yep, yep, yep,
A
yeah.
very student led, not
So,
approved of by the.
so what drew you to decide to make this film about Shane rather than anything else you could have done?
Well, so first and foremost, I'm a big fan.
Okay.
I I really like Shayne's music, and being his friend was like great for me. I still feel kind of amazed that that's happened.
Yep.
Um, I also think that he has an interesting story. Like he, has really, the central theme, as far as I'm concerned, with the film, although everybody takes different things from it, but the central theme is really tenacity and like staying strong, sticking to the path through adversity.
Yep.
Because, Shayne, despite everything that's thrown at him, continues to be a working artist, musician in New Zealand today. And that's just like, there aren't many, many people who do that. There's only a handful really
Yep.
who can actually do that. So that's really the story. And that was the story that I wanted to tell, because it's not in the past. He's not a has-been.
Right. Yep. Yep.
He's still active right now. And I think that's worth inspecting. Also, because he was writing his book, I felt like there was a good sort of synchronicity there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I liked him. I think the story is interesting, and I think the timing was right. And it's interesting because it took such a long time to make. I thought that was a real, a downside to it. But in some ways, I think the timing's kind of perfect. Like it's far enough away from the book, and Shayne's really had and it's a real renewed interest in his work. So yeah, it's worked out really well.
And why did it take so long to make? Because like 7 years, right?
7 years. Yeah. Well, look, to be honest, for documentaries, that's not wildly unusual.
Okay.
But it took that long because, look, a big part of it was that I live in Melbourne,
Yep.
um, and I was in lockdown for 2 years. So we had 2 years in lockdown, which just I wasn't able to do much then.
Yep.
And then another reason was that we just found it really hard to get funded. So most of the film is particularly the production side, like the shooting, was all done for people that donated their time and the gear and everything like that. So yeah, it was a funding thing. I mean, and look, it's hard to make it. It's hard to get funding for a film. I mean, there's a lot of
Sure.
people trying, and it's a difficult path. So it's not like we were anything special, but it just made it harder. It just made it take longer.
Right. 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 I'm curious. Have you seen the Anchor Me film, the Don McGlashan doco?
I want to.
Oh, okay. Because I have, and so I've seen both of the films. And
Mm,
what I love about it is the fact that, both of the subjects are, Kiwi musicians of the same time period, very different films, very different approaches. With Don, it was all about the music, it was very much focused on his songwriting process and all that. Because, I mean, anybody who's ever talked to Don, you realize that's what he's all about. Whereas with the film about Shane, a very different approach. So was that
mm.
always going to be your approach? Did it change much over the 7 years? How the type of film that you wanted to make about Shane?
Um, did it change? It did, but not in essence. Like I think But you know, for me, there's a real story. I've always wondered why on earth there was this moment in time in Dunedin in the 1980s
Yeah.
where just all this music sprouted up, and I wanted to have a look at that.
Yep.
So that was always going to be part of it because Shayne's right in the middle of it. You know,
Yep.
he's a central figure in that scene. So that was always going to be part of it, and also I think that it's for Shayne, it's really, if you want to hear the music, you can hear the music, and we
Yep.
play lots of music in the film, but it's really about his personality. It's like
Yep.
who he is,
Yeah.
because who he is so central to that story that, like, yeah, he is at the center of it. And, you know, I know that he feels a little shy about it, but that's it. I mean, that's him. And what you see in the film, that really is what he's like. He's just like that.
Yeah. Right. Right. So what kind of discussions did you have with him kind of pre the film to kind of get him on board?
So I knew he was writing his book,
Right.
and I pitched to him to make a film because I'd been in Melbourne for about 5 years. So I felt now I'd sort of settled in there, and I wanted to work on a new project. I wanted to find something to do. And I knew Shayne was writing, so I pitched him. I said, "Hey, why don't we make a film?" And what I said to him was, I don't want it to be like a normal music documentary. I don't want to have people who have nothing to do with the music commenting
Right.
about the music, a
Yep.
la getting a celebrity from overseas to say Shayne was amazing, you know,
Right. Right.
none of that, none of that. Um, Hearing the music, not talking about it. So no one's sort of yapping on about, you know, this song or that song. It's just like you hear it.
Yep.
And it's the stories really. And yeah, based on that, you know, and saying that I pitched him, I wanted, and also, sorry, I should say, using passages from the book itself
Yeah.
was a big part of it. And based on that, he agreed to make the film. And I think he was pretty keen at first. And really, you know, when you see him on camera and we're going around Dunedin and going to all the places and he's really excited, that was really fun. We
Yeah.
had such a good time.
I,
Really enjoyed filming with
the
Shayne.
smile on his face seems very genuine.
Yeah, yeah. We're having a ball. It's really fun. I mean, I feel like too, if you're making a film, if it's not fun, the process is not fun, then why are you there? You know,
Hmm.
like it's not, you're not going to make a bunch of money. It's a passion project, so it's got to be fun.
Yep.
So yeah, oh no, I've forgotten your question. That's terrible.
Oh, that's all right. I can't remember what it was either. You were doing so good. We're going to move on to
Um,
another one.
yeah, sure, sure.
Well, and of course, we want to learn something new about Shayne. That's why we read the books and watch the films. And I
Mm.
loved the segment about his relationship with Chris Knox, after the stroke and all that. And that was, you, you, how was that difficult for you to deal with, to find the right way to go about showing that and how it worked?
So that shoot was really hard to organize, like really hard.
Yeah,
I think we only got there third time, for various reasons. I know that, you know, Chris's family and his community are very protective of him.
sure.
And so, you know, I had to really show that we're good intentions.
Yep.
We were in there with the camera with Chris and Shayne for 20 minutes. Like that's all we had with him, maybe 25.
Right.
And so how to show him, I just think that honestly, that was the easiest part of the film to cut. It just came together so easily. Like
Yep.
it just fell into place because Shayne's talking about Chris in his book. You can see how they relate to each other. Chris makes fun of Shayne, but they obviously love each other.
Yep.
They're two goons just
Yep.
having fun in the house, and like it just, yeah, it was such a beautiful. And I also like that it's at the end of the film. I feel like it's a real little treat for people
Yeah.
right at the end when you get to see those two together.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't, I felt like we didn't need to work too hard to make it work in the edit. It was all just sitting there ready to go
Well,
just
if you only
before
got 20
that.
minutes of footage, speaking, I'm a video editor myself, I realize
Yeah,
that's what you
yeah,
got. You got to
you
use as
got what
much.
you got. And we honestly, we used so much of it. Like
Yeah.
there's really not much that we didn't use. But then of course, James, James Ellis, who did camera for Into the Void, you know,
Right.
he shot that with me, and I always love working with him because, you know, just gets everything. He's just, yeah, he's an
Yeah.
amazing camera operator.
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah, that was an eye opener, for somebody who's outside looking in and going, "Oh, I didn't realize that's what Shayne did in his spare time."
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's right. A lot of people didn't know that he was Chris's carer.
No,
Like people just didn't know that. And I mean, yeah, it's was quite a surprise for people. But I think, and it really speaks to how close Chris and Shayne are. You know, when Chris had his stroke, Shayne stepped right in and was looking after him all day for a long time.
that's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yep,
It's
yep, yep,
amazing. I
yep,
mean, and that also speaks to Shayne. He's someone who is incredibly loyal to his friends. And
yep,
if, you know, if his friends are in trouble, he is there and he'll help them out.
yep, 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 yep. So the film screening is coming up. What what is it going to be for you? How are you going to feel, do you think? What are you going to get out of? Are you going to be able to watch the film in front of all these people at the premiere?
Well, I mean, you know, like it's pretty scary. You know what it's like when you make stuff and people see it, and then you have to sit in the room with them, and they're all of the people that you're like. I really look up to this community.
Right.
You know, they as a creative person, these are the people who've gone before me, who've really inspired me, and are my guiding light. So,
Yep.
you know, it's a very nervous moment, but I have to say, I've put a lot of effort, me and everyone on the team has put a lot of effort into being really we consulted people, we asked people, we talked to people, asked permission the whole way. So I feel pretty sure that if that we've covered everything, and if we haven't, it's genuinely a genuine mistake.
Right.
So you know, people know what's coming, sort of. I mean, they haven't seen it.
Right.
So it's a great moment, but I'm also quite nervous. I will admit for all those reasons.
Yeah.
And look, and it'll also just be great to have it just out there,
Yeah.
you know, and this film will be sent on its way. And like the crazy thing with films is that when you finish making it and it's done and it goes out, then it stops, it doesn't belong to you anymore. It
Right.
belongs to everyone else. It becomes
Well,
its own thing.
going back to the Don McGlashan film, that's what Shirley said about her film. Exactly the same words that you said when they did a little
Mm,
Q&A at the screening the other day at the Civic. And yeah,
mm.
it's just like, no, it's not mine now. It's everybody else's. Let's see what happens. So it's
Yeah.
interesting that a lot of these films are being made by women.
Mm.
Somebody pointed that out to me the other day. I try not to think about those things because,
Yeah.
I'm trying to assume that it's normal these days, but it really isn't, is it? I mean, it's really an achievement that not that you've done it but that women are so involved in making these things these days.
Yeah, it's great. The more the merrier. You know, I think all these different perspectives, it's really important to have women and men and people from all different ethnicities. I mean, for me, diversity is about just making life more interesting, making everything more interesting, like just bringing in different perspectives. Yeah. You know, the funny thing is though, like I'm a woman, but most of the people I've been working with are men. Like the team is 90% men, but
That's
it is what it is.
it is what it is, and that will probably change over time as well. It's just a matter of things happening the way they will happen, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I love working with women and I'm always keen to, you know, so it's
Yep. I
exciting to
went
be
to
with
the
that.
Doc Edge Award ceremony for the film festival there. I happened to
Mm.
be at the table where four of the directors were sitting at the same table, and they were all female. And they were, it was like, holy mackerel, where are these people come from? This is fantastic. So yeah, it was very
Yeah.
impressive. So
Yeah,
yeah, very
well,
cool.
you know, New Zealand's leading the charge in that way, you know.
Yeah.
It's always been like diversity on screen is it's really strong here. I notice it, especially coming from Australia.
Ah. So are you thinking about what you're going to do next?
Um, yeah, people have asked me this.
And I just did.
And I look, I think, you know, I'm always like you've got to do the thing that's on your plate first. And
Right.
so, you know, getting this film out, you know, I've put off doing anything else because I've just got to get this done and then I
Yep.
can open the door to other things. But having said that, like there's stuff in Australia that I'm quite interested in. There's a lot of pretty interesting music that's come out of Brisbane.
Oh, yeah.
that I'm quite interested in. I'm heading up there to the warmer part of Australia.
Good idea.
Just seeing what's going on up there. And well, let's just see what happens. Like, I think I'm open to doing work in either Australia or New Zealand. It's because I'm based in Australia, it does make it a little harder. But I think, the fact that we went through lockdown and we all started working remotely has just really opened the door to all of that.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't really matter. We can kind of do our work from wherever we are now, can't we?
That is, I hear that a lot as well, and that's kind of the upside to what happened. There are obviously the downsides, but yeah, it has freed people up and realized that this is a possibility, and change the way you work. You don't have to be in the room with people, and you can still get stuff done. So it's pretty cool.
Get stuff done. Yeah, totally.
Very good. All right. Well, I'll let you go. Have fun at the screening. That's the
Thank you.
most important thing. And
Yeah.
yeah.
We're into the cinemas on September the 4th.
Okay.
So because it's sold out through the film festival. So anyone who's missed out can go and see it in the cinema. And if you want to go to a cinema show, I'll encourage you to do it, because it's got all the big sound. And all the pictures look great on the big screen. If you love cinema, it's always better.
I do. And music. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah, brilliant. We'll organize to get you along there.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No worries.
All right.
Awesome.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Marty. You too. Take it easy.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram, and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.